but I've met a lady and she's looked me in the eyes and she has been like, dude, I could tell when I was pregnant. I don't know. I've never had a guy turn around to me and go, that moment I knew a new batch of sperm was ready. I've never had a guy turn to me and tell me about his body function. Meanwhile, I have had women turn to me and just go, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Selena. I could tell that I was pregnant the moment that I was. And I'm like, that rules. Congratulations, Selena. Let's go. Fucking my goat, Selena, okay? I felt it when my puberty ended. I felt it when my puberty ended. I did.
Doing awesome.
I know what you need. He's not dead, by the way. He's alive. Are they gonna make a hat out of it? He's alive. He's alive. He's getting a bath. I bet you didn't know you could wash a marmot with a paint roller, huh? Oh, I would love if somebody did this to me. This is why I always live with roommates, is because this is how I need to be washed. I'm a hairy-ass bitch. They called me a werewolf in middle school. I mean, in elementary school because of how hairy I was. That's me. He's asking so politely. Oh! Basically, there's somebody who taxidermied a squirrel into a bag, a pencil bag, and they put the sharpener in its butt for some reason, which I don't really understand. I would put the sharpener in the mouth, personally. Like, I get it. It's funny if you put it in its butt, but it's more immersive if you put it in its mouth, is what I think. Holy shit! How many different ways do they clean this marmot? Okay, one more. Last marmot. Dude, he's so happy. He loves it. Hey, don't say backshot. Hey, come on, man. It's not... Oh, come on, man. What were we doing before that? I don't even remember how we got here. I have to tell you a story. And so when she was like, hey, tell me about your job. Tell me about how you're a VTuber. And I was like, oh my God. And I started to tell my sister about it. And I was like, holy shit, she's proud of me, and she thinks what I do is cool, and she wants to do it. And she was like, yeah, I see streamers on TikTok get free stuff all the time, so I was thinking I could probably do what you do. And I was like, yeah, man. Hey, it is a step up. At least, she doesn't think I'm lame anymore. Hey, at least she doesn't think I'm lame anymore. I think she'd be a great streamer. I think she'd be a fantastic streamer. Except she's so mainstream. She'd be like, oh, she could be like a mainstream VTuber for like normal people. And she could talk about like the Kardashians and reality TV shows. She could be Negs. Dude, I love that guy. He's so sweet. Except, okay, Negs is kind of like, Negs is normie core, but Negs is also just enough of a freak that he's not super he's kind of like, he's like a normie cosplayer. He's cosplaying a normal person, he's normal passing, but then on the inside, he's like a Labrador, and he's just like, like, he's just, and he's crazy, and he's funny, and he thinks about weird stuff, and he says crazy ass shit. Maybe I could mentor her and like unlock her inner strange, and then we can make like a mutual freak show online. You sucked all the weird out of her? Dude, I don't know. Maybe she's masking? She's very normie. She's very, very normal. When she was young, she was weird. She was a freak, like me, and we got along really well. And then she hit puberty and became really nasty. So she's emerging from the nastiness, and maybe she'll become a freak again. Or maybe she's grown out of it. I don't know. I still feel like I'm like a kid, but I'm in a weird adult body. The other day, I made a jam sandwich and I put some fruit snacks, like some fruit leather. I put some fruit leather on the side and I cut up my sandwich. And then I opened a pack of some fruit gummies and I dribbled the fruit gummies on the side of my plate with the fruit leather and with my jam sandwich. And I looked at it and I was like, I'm a fairy, but in human years, I'm gonna be almost 30 years old. And I'm looking at my jelly jam sandwich that I cut up really, really specifically and took the crusts off of. And I'm looking at my like jelly snacks, a small little pile of jelly snacks. And I was like, I pay a mortgage, dude. I'm gonna be 30 in human years. That's crazy,
Froggy?
dude. Fucking alphagetti the other day, and I put Cheez-Its in that bitch. It was awesome. I feel like a baby. I feel like a weird baby person in a stretched out, gross human body. Don't just say autism. I don't feel older. I still feel like I'm a baby. Do you remember when you developed guilt? I remember I had Polly Pockets. And there was this little tiny hat. We were at a gift shop. You don't remember when you developed a feeling of guilt and felt guilt for the first time ever? Guilt was my first emotion. That's crazy. I think when I'm a little old lady, I think I want to go to Newfoundland and I think I want to buy a little candy house because all the houses in Newfoundland look so different from mainland houses. Even in mainland Newfoundland, you can find some of like the candy houses. They're all just like beautiful colors. And you know what's really fucked up? I was sitting with my grandma one day and I was talking about how gorgeous Newfoundland is and how I'd love to maybe live there. And my grandma, we're having like barbecue or something and she's like, oh yes, that became a trend to paint houses in wild colors so that during the war, when the bomb sirens were going and the power was cut, you could still find your house because your house was this bright, crazy color. So you could make it home in the middle of all the bombings and all the war. And I was like, we can't just have nice things, can we? We can't just have a nice, colorful little gnome village. No, the explanation has to be because people needed to be able to find their houses in the dark in the war. Easier to bomb too is so fucked up! That's crazy! Anyway, that's the lore on the cotton candy color houses. What shall we call this newfound land? Oh my god, I keep getting distracted. I haven't even told you the story. We should do date night with the ghosts. So I need Botox for my bruxism and my TMJ. Maybe like 3 weeks ago, I went into the dentist and I said, hey, my bruxism is really, really bad. Can I just have some Botox? No. Point is, I was like, I just need to get Botox. So I called the dental office and I went, hey, give me the Botox. I go in and he looks me in the eyes. This is a different dentist. Different from the one who was saying I should consider Botox and I need to start wearing my night guard every day. Yes, that's the dental appointment where I kidnapped my Uber driver. Okay, sir, what do I do? So he said, you need to take Roblox, extra strength Roblox, and do yoga. I'll see you in 3 weeks. And if it hasn't worked, we'll give you Botox. And I was like, okay. So I paid him like $100 for the appointment or something. And then I left. Yeah, Roblox. No, sorry, Robax. I learned that in the US, Robaxin is only prescription, but in Canada, it's over the counter. So I went to the pharmacy and I got my Robax and then like, I stretched for 3 weeks straight. I'll admit, okay, I didn't do yoga. I didn't take yoga classes, but I did order a yoga mat and I have done stretches, okay? I've done that at least, but I haven't done a proper yoga, as the kids say. And then, so yesterday I went in, I was like, finally, it's Botox time. And I went in, yeah, all my medications were fighting like Star Wars, exactly. And I went and I sat in the chair and he comes in and he's like, how are you? Tell me everything. And I went, okay, I'm ready for the Botox because yoga did not cure bruxism and neither did Robax. It did help. The Robax did help with my mouth pain, but it's knocking me out. I feel like a ghost of myself. Heavenly, remind me to clove, please. I went in for my Botox and that yoga guy, he was like, okay, it didn't cure you. So we're gonna do the Botox. And I went, yes, thank you, thank God. And he went, get your doctor. Get your doctor to prescribe you 50 units of Botox. And I went, why? Can't you do isn't that why I came into your office? Bodily, physically am sitting in this chair right now? I didn't just come in and sit Dude, I paid like $100 and something for my appointment at the last session, where literally all he did was tell me to do yoga and take rollbacks. So I told him this time that I wasn't paying for the appointment because the appointment was like 5 seconds. This appointment could have been a sticky note. Hey, it's really funny you say that. It's really funny you say that because he wrote down. I took a photo of it and I sent it to Papa because I was ranting and raving and I was so upset. Dude, this is what I got. I paid for the Uber. Dude, I paid for the Uber and I got this. I got this sticky note. And he was like, so that you remember what to ask your doctor for. That's what he gave me. That's what my dentist gave me. So then I called my doctor and I said, I need 50 units of Botox, a prescription. And then he said, I actually don't have to write you a prescription for that. Your doctor can just order it and then like give it to you. The only reason for a prescription would be if like you had a particular jaw thing, which I don't. I don't have the particular specific jaw thing that would allow him to write a prescription. But he was like, if I was to prescribe you something, then insurance might cover it. So maybe your dentist was trying to help you get insurance coverage or something. But no, your jaw stuff, bad as it is not bad enough that insurance will cover it. You just have to pay for it and your dentist just has to order it. And I was like, well, okay, I'll just go fuck myself. What is with the dentists in Canada? They go to clown college or something? Don't discredit clowns! They actually learn stuff at clown college! My other dentist, he's new. Yoga dentist is new. And the old dentist, I know, this might be me not liking change. Yes, but old dentist, very good. Love her very much. But he's been a little bit difficult. And now I don't have my Botox, but I still need to get my Botox. And hopefully I get my Botox soon, so we'll find out. Anyway, then I got home and our internet was out. So I thought I'm going to do a funny little treat and I'm just going to hunker down with my Switch and be cozy in my egg cage. And I got so blasted that I could not leave the cage. I need to tell you a story. Holy shit. On Tuesday night, we were recording for Kingmaker, and I remembered, like, so one of my homies that we record Kingmaker with, they get their weed delivered, and I've never gotten my weed delivered, which I live in a place where the weed is legal. You can have like a certain amount of it, and it's legal, and I'm of age, and I do it responsibly, yada, 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 all of that. So my friend was like, oh yeah, I get it delivered all the time, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, oh, I need weed for Thursday because we're doing our Zooted stream. So I ended up trying to order. I usually just say, yeah, I want the weed that makes me sleep forever, or I want the weed that makes everything funny, and then they know what I'm talking about and they give me the weed. So this was just me by myself online, and I'm looking it up. I'm like, delivery services, huh? And I find a place that is very, very close to where I live. And I'm like, oh shit, this is legit. This is awesome. I could just have weed delivered for Thursday. And then on Wednesday, when I have to go to the dentist and all this, that, and the other thing, I don't have to go and buy the weed. I can just go to the dentist and then go home after I've had my Botox, and I don't have to... Anyway, the Botox didn't happen and yada, 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 yada. But jump back to Tuesday night again. You're me. You're looking online. You see, yes, I can have the weed delivered to my house. And so I'm going to sign up, and as you're signing up, you have to provide, like, your ID, a photo of yourself, and you have to back and forth with somebody who works at the dispensary. And then, so the person I'm talking to, I noticed they're using, like, a lot of emojis, and they're kind of, like, I don't know, they're great. They're having a great time chatting with the person as I'm giving them info and, like, registering for their delivery service, because I don't want to have to go to the weed store by myself on Wednesday after I've been Botoxed. That's my thinking. That is it. So I'm also still in my session, my Pathfinder session, and my attention is split between talking to the weed person and being in combat. I am yapping with this person goes, hey, you live really close, and we close in 10 minutes. We offer a free sample to anybody who registers with us for our like delivery services. Would you like me to drive the free sample over to your place? And I was like, what? Not even included with like an order? I feel bad with you driving to my place just to give me something for free. That makes me feel bad. I don't want you to do that. And they're like, oh no, we really don't mind. Like it's no problem. It's on the way. Like we're so close and blah 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 blah. We're gonna close. And I was like, okay, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Sure. So I'm like, I feel bad. Let me throw in something. And maybe they were being nice, or maybe they were playing 5D chess, because I felt bad having them come bring me this thing. So I order some. I just grab something and I throw it in the cart, and I do not notice. So normally I'm a lightweight with this stuff. So I usually take like 10 milligrams. I misread, and it ended up being way more. I think it was like a gram or something like that. It was much more. It was fucking much more. I don't remember. They were like, okay, we'll be right over, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, so I have to come out to meet you. I'm wearing a pom-pom pudding onesie. It's the yellow dog from Sanrio, from Hello Kitty, the yellow dog. Can you drop it off on my doorstep? And she was like, I'll try to drop it off on your doorstep, but I might have to meet you in the parking lot. And so I tell everybody, hey, so, my bad. There's a dealer coming to my house now, and everyone I'm recording with is like, what? And I'm like, yeah, so that's my bad. TLDR, I thought somebody was just gonna drop off some legal drugs on my doorstep, and then that was gonna be it. But now I may need to go out and meet with them, and I'm expecting this like big beefed up like a dealer. I don't know. I watched like I don't know. It's coming from a dispensary, but I've never had it delivered before, and I'm anticipating, because I know that it's legal, but like it still feels scary to order. I'm kind of scared, and I don't know who's gonna show up at my door, and they want me to come out of my house, and I sent them my photo, and I'm like, what if this is a big dude? What if this is a big giant guy, and he's got like guns and tattoos, and he looks like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but nasty, like evil Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And I'm scared, and I don't want to interact with anybody. It's just different. I got nervous. Yeah, sometimes I still even get nervous in the store, even though it's legal. No, and I know it's weed, and I know that it's legal, and I'm being ridiculous. The D-Man? Call him the D-Man, the weed fairy. It's funny you say the weed fairy, because I have called her the weed fairy ever since. I am expecting a really scary Walter White looking guy to show up, because I watched Breaking Bad, and I know that weed is not comparable to any of the shit in Breaking Bad. But the fact that I have to meet up in the parking lot, like I've never had to do that before. And the reason why they wanted me to come to the parking lot is because they were having trouble finding my place. I go out and I'm shuffling in my slippers and my pom-pom pudding onesie. I'm in a fucking dog onesie going out to pick up my fucking weed, and I'm scared. And this car pulls up, and the tiniest woman I have ever seen in my entire life, dressed up in like the cutest skirt with she's got too many accessories on, and she like prances out. It was like Mouse. It was like Iron Mouse. Oh my god. And she was like, oh my god, I love Sanrio, Papa Puddin. You have to tell me where you got your onesie. And she hands me a fucking lunch bag. She hands me a lunch bag with my weed, with my order. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, Kigurumi. Oh, so cute. I'm gonna order one, and blah, 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 blah. She was just like the sweetest she was a little weed fairy. She was a decadent. She was smaller than me and dressed so cute, and just handed me this little brown paper bag. And then just like skips back into her car and takes off. And I was like, holy shit. That was like the polar opposite of what I was expecting for my first time receiving the bud tender. after receiving the delivery person I've never had a substance. I've never even had alcohol delivered. And I was just so scared. I was so frightened. And this small girl comes out. She's like, oh my God, Hello Kitty. So she's the Hello Kitty weed fairy. And I love her. And then I get inside, I open the bags, and that's when I noticed I had accidentally put the way too much big, powerful, evil weed into my thing. So normally, again, I take 10 milligrams. This was like something crazy. Maticus had the numbers earlier, and I completely butt-fuck forget. Maticus saved me. Maticus came to see what the weed fairy brought me, because she brought me, like, free stuff. Holy crap, she brought me crazy shit, because I accidentally ordered the crazy shit. And I pulled out a gummy, and he was like, so you have to cut that not into, it's like, you have to do it like 1, 2, 1, 2. Like, you gotta make them into little tiny nuggets. But then the problem there is, because it came from a bigger gummy, the amount of, like, concentration of the plant, the oil concentration, is gonna be different in different parts of the gummy.
Listen, you got delivered 4 packets of weed.
Yeah.
You were gonna eat a packet.
Yeah.
I caught you.
Yeah.
Because the packets were 1,000 milligrams.
Yeah.
Per packet.
Yeah.
So then you said, well, how much should I have to, what should I do to eat this? So I had to walk you through the explanation of, okay, look, if we cut this into quarters, that's 250.
Yeah.
This still knocks you out for a day.
Yeah.
And then we cut that into eighths, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I was like, that's 31. Now we should cut that in half.
Oh,
Here's
that's
15.
right.
Yeah,
that's
like,
right.
We divided that candy down, I think, through like 3 different layers of sections into 15.75 roughly milligram little bites.
That's right.
Some of these bites are gonna make you feel like nothing, and some of these bites are going to fuck you up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I took like a little nugget of the stuff, but the problem is, because the gummy is so big, the distribution of the plant and the oil and all of that, it's not even throughout the whole thing. So I took a little tiny nugget and I greened out.
Babysitting you by
shit,
throwing
so you took a
pieces of
second one.
American cheese at your face.
I may have, okay, I forgot that I took a second one. That's my bad. So this whole time I woke up this morning and I went, I still feel kind of, I still feel the serene afterglow of like everything from the night before, but I only remember taking one and getting in my chair. And then the last thing I remember is when I started to like go, I told Matt, I was like, Maddie, and he comes in, and I'm like, I need you to know, I can't leave this chair, and he's like, okay, dude, like, just wants to go back to his RuneScape, or whatever. He's like, okay, yeah, dude, yeah, and he tried to go back to his RuneScape, and I'm like, you don't understand. If I get up and I leave the cage, the water's gonna pull me away. I'm gonna float away on a horizontal, I'm gonna float away. I feel it pulling my body. So that is the last thing I remember before I blacked out, dude. I just remembered warning you not to take me out of the chair, because the second I was out of the cage, the water was gonna take me.
Yeah, you were very convinced that chair was the only thing keeping you tethered to reality, I remember.
Are we sure it wasn't LSD? It was just too much! Hey, have I talked for 2 hours? That's my bad. I know that I have managed to talk for 2 hours, but it's actually quite difficult to form thoughts. Heavenly, remind me to blueberry acai later, please. I like Grandpa's ashes. Grandpa's ashes taste real good. Any opportunity I get to promote myself with gamer subs, I just end up promoting my friends and their codes, because I know that if they get cups and like flavors and stuff, then I get to do art for them. What would my flavor be? Quill. If Zen gets a gamer sub cups, will you draw hers? Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Quill is your flavor of choice? I'm trying to think of what flavor Quill would be. Quill is very smooth. Maybe like honey? I don't have any weed nor alcohol. Have you considered having the weed fairy deliver? Because the weed fairy visited my house and she was a cute little Hello Kitty weed fairy, which was crazy. I was expecting like Breaking Bad, big scary guy. It was the sweetest, tiniest little lady. And she was dressed like a supermodel and gorgeous. And I think she was a fairy. I think I was visited by the weed fairy. The little tree turned up to me and agreed that he won't poke me. Now you won't poke me.